All right, let's knock it off. Let's knock it out. Let's go.
Don't tell me to knock it off.
Dropping in. Howdy. Welcome to this week's episode of Vikings, Outlaws, and Cowboys. I'm your host, Vico the Bearded One. You can call me JT for short. And I am joined by his bouginess, Alex, the Jarl Martinez. How's it going, Plague member?
We're back. We're back, dude. I don't have it, dude. I'm like
zero?
patient zero. Yeah, I'm patient zero. There's
That's
something.
Ah, that's fine. That's good, man. How's things?
I'm LIVIN.
Oh, yeah. Every time somebody says that to me, I immediately hear the words they're saying. Doesn't matter how they're speaking or what their tone is. Always in McConaughey's voice.
Yeah, always Wooderson.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Nothing new here. Just a bunch of sickos. So, but I am so far unfazed. I would like to thank whiskey, and I would like to thank vitamins, because the old vitamin whiskey trick worked yet again.
Oh, we need one of those soundboards where I can just do in the background. That'd be fucking perfect. We gotta get a soundboard built. That'd be fucking dope. Although if we got a soundboard built, it would literally just be both of us being like the whole fucking
just
time.
Buttons the whole fucking time.
Yeah, there would be literally zero conversation. That's fucking awesome. So we've had a long 2 weeks. We meant to do a podcast, but it just got fucking crazy before everything left. Like there was just too much going on with getting my master's degree official.
It's been a interesting couple of days for you, or weeks, right?
Yeah, dude. A lot of progress. A lot of, it feels like, I've talked about atomic habits before, and this is maybe something we can talk about in the future podcast again, but it feels like all of the baby steps onto the elevator, to reference What About Bob, have finally allowed me to hit the fucking button to get off of the fucking elevator.
The button of life.
Yeah, dude. So, recap for everybody. I finished my master's degree. It's official. I have an MBA. M as in Mancy, not N, right?
No.
So I have the MBA. You still drinking that same thing as last time?
Dude, it's conspiracy. It's like it never empties itself.
That's crazy.
It's a conspiracy.
I'm still drinking the Montana Honey Moonshine. So I mean, I'm not supposed to drink it all because it's actually the wife's, and so I need to I need to go replenish it. So I got to make sure she has. There's enough that if she ever has to deal with me.
Just a swallow.
Just a couple worth of drinks, but and I did pour pretty heavy today because it's been fucking.
I did a heavy pour also. Actually, that's why I was looking at what was left in the bottle.
You're like, wait a minute.
It was an accident.
So we got that done. We hit Texas. We'll talk about Texas in a minute. And the cast and the crew and all the fun shit down there. And then as of today, all of our paperwork is finally submitted, except for fingerprints for those again. And we have set inspection dates for the first week of February. What is it? Or not February, March. What does that mean?
I don't know.
That means as long as we fucking pass those inspections, we can brew booze, dude.
I hope that we pass them like the first test, right?
Everything's been pre-inspected, so I'm not.
Is it like an 80s gravy on the?
It's hey, let me walk in.
Pass fail.
It's like pass fail. So like they walk in and they're like, okay, cool, and they just gotta make sure everything's like handy, capable, accessible.
Right.
Everything's labeled like it's supposed to. Things are 36 inches off the ground, not 38. Basically it, man. They walk in, make sure shit turns on when it's supposed to turn on. There's no shorts. We're at the final inspection.
I'm gonna wear shorts. I'm
wearing shorts too.
Okay.
It's because because it's a pants party.
Yeah. No pants party.
So we got that
with
today.
Like tactile necks.
Yes. I'm in on this.
Yeah.
Totally in.
Let's go.
And then the other thing too that we just figured out is we could have a septic system and a well.
The poop chute.
Dude, we're gonna be fully operational by first week of March.
It's gonna be fun.
I don't even know how to respond to it because it feels like this has been such a long time coming,
Yeah,
for the longest time, I just thought we were breathing heavy.
We are breathing heavy still. We're still heavy breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a climactic moment
It's
coming.
like the lights aren't even off yet.
No. I mean, they don't have to be off for me. It's fine.
I know, but they do for her with you.
No. It's all beard. There's nothing to see here. I look like Cousin It. So we got our Shades Friday on.
It is Friday.
Actually, it is Friday. So it's Shades Friday, bitches, which is our tribute, basically, to anybody who listens to this for men's mental health. I would like to see more people wearing shades on Friday to support men's mental health.
Even when it's dark.
I don't give a shit, bro. We wear shades all the time. I wore the comfy ones, though. I can't do the police glasses all the time.
I forgot my red shirt, the whole Red Friday thing, but I remembered my shades.
So there's a request that I got today.
Yes.
So the request is from Melody up here. She supports the military. She's like, hey, I got a lot of people that want to buy hoodies from you, but they want a red hoodie.
Oh.
For Friday, for Red Friday.
Red Friday.
Yeah, so I said, cool. Let us make some booze before we do anything.
Can it just be like your face wearing sunglasses on a red hoodie?
Sure.
Can we just put sunglasses on the logo?
Yes. That's it. That's fucking in. Let's do it. Whatever. Whatever, dude. I don't care. I think that'd be a dope Red Friday tribute and to support everybody. But we'll worry about that here. We're coming into springtime, so like we don't need fucking hoodies. We got hoodies to sell. So if you're listening, go and hit the discount code Small Things because we put it for everything.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah, and then after that, we're out of discounts for a little bit because all we're doing is brewing hooch and going to be hooch hoes again, like real ones.
Boozing.
Yeah, we're gonna be legit this time though.
Too legit.
Super fucking crazy. So, that's kind of a light recap. I did have the opportunity to go on the Truth, Tall Tales, and Whiskey show. You weren't able to make it because your house hit the latest version of plague.
You got the Ebola, yeah.
Yeah, which I'm glad that you didn't bring down because I didn't want it.
I don't know whether I have it, whether I carried it, whether I'm the problem. I would like to think that everybody else is the problem.
That's fair.
But yeah, so far so good. I mean, I'm like 2 weeks plague free. Like I haven't got it yet.
Yeah, so. Well, I didn't know if you were alive yet this morning because I texted you and whatnot, and so I hit up the boat. I was like, hey, bro, I need you to be on standby for a backup in case the plague is hit hard at the Martinez residence.
Nah, dude, we're good.
So when we were down there, we had some really good shit happen. Went out with Tro, the honky, and had a good time. Drank way more than I was expecting to drink with just me and him. Way more.
So are you saying that I'm the problem?
I'm saying both.
You think that I'm the problem? You think that I'm the problem?
You're definitely the problem because whenever any of us try to go to bed, when we're staying over your place, you're like, just one more.
No, that is you. That is you. You're like,
talk.
let's just go outside for a talk. It's just a bro talk. Just you and me till 4 a.m. I'm not the problem, asshole.
No, you are. You bring the alcohol. I just talk. There's no difference.
It's already here. It never leaves.
I'm just telling you. Listen, it is what it is. It's fine.
Whatever. Accountability, sir. Accountability.
Yeah, I'm a fucking rambler when I'm drunk. What do you want? I'm a rambler when I'm sober.
The rambling man.
Yeah, it's fine. That's why there's never ever any dead space because one of us is going to talk in that dead space
at some point.
Yeah, it's good. So then we got a chance to meet Kanan Bryce. If you guys don't know who he is, he's a stud of a man, mountain of a man actually. And he's opening for Creed in Midland, Texas on I think it's March 6th.
Dude, I'm so going to that. I'm going because they're coming with 3 Doors Down when they come here too. Like I'm going, dude. I'm 100% going.
I'm like tempted. That's in August. I'm like tempted to come down to see that.
Like, dude, I'm like the only thing that can make it better is if like Nickelback was coming with them.
No, Finger 11's coming with them.
I know, but it's gonna be them, 3 Doors Down, and Finger 11. I'm just saying, like that would be the 4 Horsemen.
I literally just want to be like, with arms wide open.
Dude, I'm gonna wear a wife beater and leather pants,
bro. And you got to get like a weave for that day. Just like throw it back. Just you know what I'm saying? Fucking do it. You got to get like leather pants. Make sure they're skin tight.
Oh yeah,
some
like
Doc
nothing.
Martens.
No, nothing's escaping it. It's just
Yeah.
gonna just seal in the flavor.
I think the only thing that you should do different is instead of wearing a belt, you gotta wear like suspenders. Like you
No
gotta
way,
like
dude. You can't wear
change it, bro.
suspenders with a wife beater. Get out of
You
here,
can't not.
dude. It's weird.
It's not. It's
Oh,
only weird if you make it weird.
Rob got me a bolo tie with an A on it, which is pretty badass. I'm pretty
That's pretty
jazzed
dope.
about that. Yeah, I've never had a bolo tie.
I wore a bolo tie to one of the Marine Corps balls I was at, and I was like, "What the fuck is the point of this? You can't see shit with my beard."
Hmm.
It was a
That
moment.
checks out.
I was like, does it look good? I try to look at myself in the mirror, and I was just like, hey, fuck it. It doesn't even matter if it looks good. It's
Yeah,
just,
my beard's like getting to the Haji point. I'm gonna have to cut it soon.
no, man, just trim it. Trim it. I need you to
Nah,
be
dude,
Leonidas,
because
bro.
mine doesn't come all the way up here though.
That's okay. No, be like Leonidas, bro. His
I
didn't
look
come all the way up.
I look like I'm gonna bomb something.
Yeah, the bathroom.
Maybe if we're renting Taco Bell, maybe.
Yeah, or what is the other one? The other taco spot.
Del Taco.
Del Taco. That's the most epic rental.
Oh no, dude, Taco Bell's
In and
the
out.
worst.
It's no, dude. The Del Taco's in and out in 30 minutes or less. It's like a fucking.
It's like
It's
a
like
colon cleansing.
Yeah, it's brutal. I got friends who have got stories that were in my truck, and I wasn't the story. They were the story on the side of a mountain. Fucking terrible. I was like, whoa. Yeah, next thing you know, they're wearing their shirt like it's a
like a crop top.
no.
they're rip off the bottom
on the
first.
bottom, bro. No, they just it happened.
Didn't go for a sleeve.
No, man, it happened mid getting out of the truck.
Oh no.
And so next thing you know, they're wearing a loincloth, and I was like, I'm not really quite sure what's happening right now. But here's my chamois, my chamois, and you should sit on that just in case.
That's a bummer.
Dude,
that is a bummer.
Like, and the thing is like, there's a moment in your life when you no longer trust a fart, and like that moment happens at like 30 for most men. So if you're over that, like, don't trust it.
Yeah, dude, it's scary.
And I felt so bad, and I'm not gonna name names or anything because it's just super embarrassing. But like, I also was like, that moment in like Wayne's World when he's like, dude, if you're gonna spew in this, right?
Yeah.
I literally like just rolled out the fucking sham cloth and was like,
oh yeah, the blue
sit
ones.
On this. No, it was the old hard one, like the one that would.
Oh yeah, like the home show guy. Fucking got you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got that one in the glove box, and I was like, sit on this, bro. It's okay. Don't
it
worry.
Happens. I think like if you look up man law right now, you can still shit your pants like once a month. It's man law.
I just have no understanding of that because I just don't ever really go anywhere where I'm afraid to shit. So
dude,
I don't care anymore.
At some point you just got to be like not afraid of the away game.
Oh
the
yeah,
only
dude,
thing that's scary is like when there's not a gas station for like miles and miles.
It's not even that bad. I don't even care anymore. Like I mean, I've tripoded in front of a mosque in Afghanistan. I give a fuck.
I mean, so did everybody else. So
like, I mean, the reality is if you're gonna get blown up while you're shitting tripoding,
that's the beauty of America is you're probably not gonna get blown up while you're shitting. So
yeah, you might get a ticket, but I'm gonna be like, that ticket's fine.
Yeah,
like whatever,
that's
bro.
better than shitting myself. Yeah, I'll take the ticket.
Yeah, I need to be quicker at pulling over for my sinusitis. This is what it's called now.
Sinusitis.
Yeah.
I've been diagnosed with such things also.
So great. It's great. I hate fucking getting old. It's a bunch of bullshit. Back to the trip to Texas. I don't even know how we fucking got on that, but hey, we're starting off strong today.
Del Taco.
Fucking Del Taco, bro. That's what it was. So we're we roll up. So we're hanging out with Martin Antonio and Corey and Josh and Keenan Bryson. So very first thing we do is, they're like, hey, we're out back shooting. So somebody says to me, especially in the middle of the woods in Texas, right? Or Montana, we're out back shooting. I'm like, cool. That means that they're shooting guns. They probably got a target. Maybe they're fucking around waiting for us to get there. Okay, cool. Well, that's not what they meant. They were out back filming the first podcast.
Oh, okay.
So I open the door like a grown up to walk into this place, and I hear cut, and I was like, oh, I'm that fucking guy.
What does this mean?
I'm like, shooting is shooting, and I looked at Martin. And I was like, dude, when you say shooting, I expect either guns or shots of whiskey.
Booze, yeah.
Like, not shooting. Nobody says shooting a podcast.
Yeah.
No, we ain't shooting a fucking film. Nobody says that. Anyway, so obviously I kicked in the door like I was fucking Kool-Aid, and I did was like, oh yeah.
Always with the oh yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah, basically, dude, it was just a breakdown of that at first, and then the shit talking started, in the most fun shit talking way, and I love it because I fully get it. So walk in, people are fucking handing around beers and everything else, getting ready. I got to listen to a couple of original songs by Ken and Bryce, and he wrote some songs for Pecos and the Rooftops, which is really fucking cool. Got to meet the dude. Solid dude. Gonna see if he'll let us do an outro, use one of his songs for the outro on this, because Michael Summers, I love him, but he was busy, so maybe we can dedicate this episode to Ken and Bryce, and he can love it. So good dude, solid heart, great music, love the shit out of him, love Michael Summers, love Martin Antonio, but the shit talking did start early, and it came often. You know, the worst part was, because I was the second old. Yeah, well, I mean,
oh, it's so good, but it's everywhere. I hate that.
When it spills all the way down?
No, like the ice cube fell from the top of the cup to the bottom.
Oh,
it douched me.
It splooshed like a.
Yeah,
okay.
It's good for the stash.
That's fair. When I spill my beer or anything now, it doesn't even drip anymore. It just like is absorbed by the beard. It's like my beard is drinking the beer for me.
Yeah, so that would have been cool, but it wasn't like a spill. It was just a sploosh.
Speaking of beer.
Anyway, sorry. So yeah, I'm super bummed that I missed it. Sound like nothing. It sounded like it was a really good time. I'm excited to be on this end of the podcast again. But I think it's going to be cool kind of being on the receiving end, because I haven't been on the receiving end of one.
For a bit.
Yeah, so it'll be kind of cool seeing everybody on, seeing Tro on, seeing like what he says, if anything.
He said like 16 words.
Like 16?
Yeah. Like it was really good though to have him on, because I think he got a feel for what it was to be on a podcast, and like the next day he was, we were obviously fucking pretty lit, because like the mead was hitting, the mead was flowing. There's 2 bottles down there that I brought, so the mead was flowing, and then on top of that we had It's Truth, Tall Tales, and Whiskey, right? So we had whiskey, and then. Listen, Corey, if you ever listen to this podcast, I want you to know this real quick, okay? Nobody shoots fucking scope as a shooter. Nobody drinks fucking peppermint schnapps straight. Nobody does. You take that shit and you put it in your hot chocolate when you're around a fucking campfire first thing in the morning. If you're not drinking.
That's the one where if you were going to a house party, you could always steal out of a liquor cabinet because nobody would ever miss it.
No. Don't hand me a shot glass of something that I've never tasted before, and then like expect me not to put it back, because like unless it's rum, like I always ask, is this rum? And that's the very first thing, right? Like, is this rum? Cool. Is this Crown? No? Cool. We're good. We're in the clear. Like I can drink anything else. I can't drink those 2 things. Fucking plow it back. Oh, well, at least if I needed to make out with Bond later on tonight, my breath would be fresh.
So fresh.
Shit. What the fuck is that shit? Anyway, so we did get a little bit blitzed, a lot of jaw jacking. I don't think that people were expecting to be able to like the amount of shit talking that old people can do.
I don't know. Are you guys old people?
Yeah, I was the second oldest person there.
The elderly?
Yeah, I felt like I needed almost a walker, but I didn't want to take Bond's, like Tro's fucking ability.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I just left all the tennis balls in the horny honk for him.
Yeah, you got to make sure that it glides smoothly across the carpet.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was great. It was a great podcast. If you guys haven't listened to them, they focus on musicians, really. So we were the kind of the outlier, which is good. Had a great time. Talked about all the stories that you guys have already heard. So a lot of jokes, a lot of smiles, a lot of laughter. It was a really good time. So bummed that the Jarl couldn't be there, but we'll get it in the future.
Shit happens, right? There will be more. There will be
Sounds
more
like
to Texas.
it sounded like there was a lot of shit happening in your
There was a lot of shit happening.
casa. Yeah. So Shades Friday, bitches.
We're back.
We're back. Let's roll into some men's mental health. We haven't talked about it for a minute.
No, and I owe Nick a response.
Yeah, I think so.
So I'm bad at the YouTube, right? Because I go on and like look at our YouTube, but I can't actually comment as Bearded Viking, so I have to go in and try and like find the comments and stuff on my own account. And but no, dude, like there is no hurt feeling.
Let's give the audience a clarifying point. Why do you paint the picture?
Okay, so Nick always drops his gems and like little gumdrops in the comments, and it's fucking awesome. So, and I like get to see like here and there. So I'll like go in and like them on my account or like on one of the other accounts. But I think we were just talking shit, and Nick thought that I was mad, but I can promise you, dude, I've never been mad. That shit is fucking pure gold, dude. Keep it up, and I'm so excited when I see your comments and stuff in there. And I love just, talking smack and like bringing up old funny shit back and forth, dude. That makes me really happy. Like that's good for my mental health because there's only, I talked to a handful of people that I was in the Marine Corps with. I guess maybe a few more. But nobody is like consistently is like Nick and Blanca and like some of the guys that we were in Okinawa with. Because we were all just like we all just had like our little S1 crew, like our our little S1 family, dude. And dude, I've never seen somebody have the funniest fucking looks on their face when a sergeant major says some crazy shit, because I swear to God, every time Sergeant Major started piping off with some crazy shit, Nick was always standing behind him or to the side of him. And the faces this dude would make just out of pure surprise because this dude would pipe off some crazy shit is absolutely priceless. But no, if you guys fucking, Nick, anybody else put comments in there, dude, and we're talking smack about it, like, don't even worry about, us filing a hurt feelings report because we love that shit. And when people get on to talk smack or give recommendations, dude, like that's the best. I love that shit.
I do have one request for everybody who's listening, specifically two people. Okay. If you're going to text us, you need to preface the episode and what we fucking talked about before you just say some random shit in a text message. And you know who you fucking are, you two. I love you both. I love you. I do. But like after the podcast is done, I don't remember what the fuck I said. And the reason why I don't is because I just live my life the way that we podcast. Isn't like there is no break between reality and this, other than here.
There's a camera.
And
there's a microphone.
You're unfortunately captivated for 2 hours if you're listening for fucking 2 hours by us being us. Like so preface, like listen, I need it broken down Barney style for me. This episode number, this is what you're talking about. Here's my response. Don't just respond randomly and expect me to know what the fuck you're talking about.
Dude, I love the fucking trying. When the fuck did we say that?
Yeah. Oh,
like trying to go through and like
I literally, yeah, I'm on the same page. I'm like half of me wants to fucking text you offline on the side conversation, be like, what the fuck were we talking about? What episode is this? Like, if you're 10 episodes behind, don't even like. I don't remember 10 episodes ago. That was like.
We have to have trigger words for 10 episodes.
Yeah, like if you looked at our fucking breakdown, like our agenda, it's literally like broken down into bullet points because everything we do is off the cuff. Like, this is how we feel. This is just who we are.
Yeah, if something brilliant comes out, like it was an accident.
It's because whiskey, mead, and beer are all great mind-opening channels.
They do something, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I have to give a shout out to Nick, dude. You're the best. Don't ever worry about fucking make it, hurt my feelings or me filling out the hurt feelings report, bro. I freaking dig the comments. I love that shit. So
Yeah. Good shout out.
and you have
Love
my
it.
number, dude. You can call me whenever. um One thing that I do have to bring up though too is this is number 40. Yeah. We're number 40 right now. So
You gonna do it?
I don't
Do
think
it.
so.
Fucking do it. There we go.
Oh, there it is. So lame. But yeah, this is number 40, dude. So
Yeah,
40 for you, 38 for me.
yeah, it's about right.
Yeah.
I mean,
you've been on all of them. I missed two.
yeah, that makes this a simple math. No, it's weird because I will say something real quick that has been made apparent each time we miss a podcast. Like there are multiple people who are like, "What the fuck, bro?" And
Oh, yeah.
it's really encouraging because like we know almost everybody who listens to the podcast. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like and it's really important for us to let you know, like that's really empowering. I want you guys to remember this too, though. And as much as we love you guys listening to the podcast and whatnot, you can always go back to like episode 10 and re-listen to that one. Just throwing it out there. I say that jokingly and lovingly, but also at the same time, you guys need to know like we take off the summer, so from like June through August there won't be a podcast. So, and that's just the way that we have it set up because we have lives and families too that we've got to take care of. So, I love you all, and I don't want you to take that in a negative way. But remember, you can always go back and re-listen to your favorite podcast. Also, I'd love to know what your favorite podcast is.
Oh yeah,
What episode?
that's a good question. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like if people can drop a comment or hit us up on Instagram or Facebook or whatever and tell us what their favorite episodes were. That'd be
Yeah,
kind of cool.
yeah. Like, follow, and subscribe too. Share it
Yeah,
with your friends.
yeah, dude, share that stuff out. That way, we can get some people that are listening that that haven't heard of us, don't know us, and I know there's a few out there, most definitely, but I think it's cool just kind of getting to, it's starting to spread out a little bit and
I love the feedback because it's like, and here's another thing too. Like we don't shun away from feedback. Like we had some feedback about one of our podcasts not having any men's mental health, and another podcast only having men's mental health, and it's a really good understanding to know who you all are and what you guys are looking for, and so it means that like our format works, and to us like that feedback is really, really important because this is our mental health conversation each week. Like when we don't have this, it's like, fuck, man. Like, don't get me wrong, we're so busy often, but like at the same time, it's like I feel better when I have this moment, these podcasts.
well, we get, everybody gets busy, and yeah, our whole thing was like, hey, maybe we need to shut it down in the summer just because we have so much stuff going on,
Mhm.
just to stay consistent, But, like maybe it's something that we have to think about is, doing once every couple of weeks or something like that, or figure out some kind of schedule that'll work in the summertime or something, because,
Mhm.
don't want to let people down or um and like the feedback, I think we walk like a really good line with the feedback
Mhm.
on the things that we incorporate or hit the gas on or throttle off of a little bit. So I don't know, maybe just thinking as we go, right? Maybe it's
Yeah,
something that we have to figure out.
I have a great idea. If the Bearded Viking could make enough money for us to be full time, then you'd never have a week without a podcast.
Never. You'd get multiple in a week.
I'm just letting you all know, like when we launch, We're going to need your support 100%. Y'all have been bearing with us. Now you can taste the fruits of our labors as a team. One other thing before we move on into the actual true portion of men's mental health, right? I would say this to everybody who's listening, and I'm not calling anybody out, but I want to let everybody know this, right? If you don't have a tribe, you're part of our tribe.
Oh yeah.
Just
Most
know that
definitely.
100%. Like, we don't do YouTube live things because YouTube would censor us and we'd get cat real quick.
Well, the Patreon is coming really soon too. So, joining the tribe isn't going to be hard. It's going to be a small fee for a month, and it's just so we can pay to have the thing going, basically.
Mhm.
And so, I mean, everybody will be able to join the tribe. Why are you dancing, weirdo?
I don't
Do
know. I
you
just
have?
had a
Do you
I had
have?
a I had a song pop in my head,
Do you
bro.
what are you doing? Well, do you have like your AirPods in underneath your headphones?
No, dude, I literally don't.
Dude.
I literally don't. I was just like, dude, I like you were like talking about the tribe, and in my mind, you probably never seen it because you've never actually had a childhood. But this is the Fern Gully. Have you ever seen Fern Gully?
Mm, I don't know. It's not ringing a bell.
All right. Well, there's a song in Fern Gully I was dancing to. It doesn't matter,
Anyway,
regardless. But it actually
but
is
yeah,
relevant to what you're saying about tribes.
only you would. This guy's been blown up too many times. So yeah, I think that joining the tribe, joining that is I think
Oh,
that's
okay.
important.
All right. I think so too. So if you're outside of our realm of like being able to hang out directly with us, and you don't think you're part of the tribe, you're absolutely part of the tribe. Our biggest thing for us is if you're having a bad day and you have no one to go to, just message us. Like,
Yeah, I am us.
yeah. Like, slide into my DMs if you're a dude. If you're a girl, you can't because well, I'm taken and I have no idea how to relate to you anyways. I love y'all, but I'll set you up with people who can help you out.
Well, and the thing is too is like we're gonna do live stuff that way. People can get a hold of us and talk to us, and it'll be kind of like face to face and everything. So that'll be kind of a fun new trick.
That was all beard. That
Nice.
all beard. All beard. Told you, it just absorbs it. All right, dude. So let's talk about like our men's mental health, man. Let's jump into that. I mean, we kind of touched on it a little bit so far, but
Okay.
so I had the unique opportunity of hanging out in the Denver International Airport for 6 hours at the banquet bar.
Gross. Gross.
So much time. And when you're sitting at the bar, if you ever see me, just know that I'm going to talk to anybody who will just like come up next to me. Like, if you haven't figured that out, like that just is what it is. I don't care. Um, while I was sitting there, I actually had a chance to speak to a gentleman who is older than my dad. He's like 66 years old. And he is a coal miner from Tennessee.
Oh wow.
So he was like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "Well, I'm the founder of an alcohol manufacturing company. We make mead." He's like, "What the fuck is that?" And I'm like, "Well," so I gave him a spiel. It's like really, really good alcohol. And he was just like, "Cool. You do anything else?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was wearing my VOC shirt. Like, we run a men's mental health podcast. And he's like, "You mean for those fucking fairies?" And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "No,
Damn,
man."
he just laid it all out there.
He's like, when I grew up, um, we didn't talk about feelings. And I was like, "Yeah, I get that."
Yeah,
But
100%.
like, we talk about feelings now. He's like, "So what? You got like you got all these feelings and you want to talk about them?" I'm like, "No, man, I got four feelings. I'm just not trying to fucking eat them."
Right.
And like, he was very, very candid and direct, which was very refreshing because like you don't get that
That
anymore.
makes it so much easier.
Yeah, I
Even
was
when
like,
even when somebody's talking shit, it makes it so much easier.
yeah, and I can't. I think. His name was Tony. So, uh, not Tony Bond, but just Tony.
Hey,
Um,
what's your name?
do a hair flip, Tony. No, so fuck you, Tony. Also that one too.
What's your name?
uh,
Right.
so I had this really candid conversation for 3 hours with this gentleman.
You had a 3-hour conversation?
Well, he was more of a
No
talker
way.
than me.
No way. Now I don't believe you.
No,
It was an imaginary friend.
this could be because I was trying to get drunk so I could fucking sleep on the hour and a half flight back to Montana. Um, but I had this great conversation with him because it started off as this thing, and he's like, us old timers, we were taught by our dads how to be men, and I was like, that makes sense. And he's like, so when you talk to me about a men's mental health podcast, I just think that you're being a bitch. And I was like, that's an interesting way to take it. But I was like, but you're an old school man. How many of your friends did you lose due to heart attacks early or like perpetual smoking and all this other shit? And he was like, I've lost a lot of friends along the way. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm not trying to tell you that men need to have 10,000 feelings and need to identify as a fucking fluffy kitten. No, I'm talking about like men need to hang out with men and like say, hey man, I'm fucking struggling right now and I don't want to talk about it with my wife and kids because they don't relate. And he was like, oh, I'm like, if you had one regret in your life since you're now this age, what is your regret? He's like, well, I look at it like this. I looked at it, the bills were paid. The kids always had what they wanted. Too much shit is what he said. And um, there's always food on the plate on the table, and that to me was being a man. I'm like, so you don't have any regret about not spending time with your kids because you were working so much? He's like, well, if I could go back, I would totally go back and spend time with them. And I was like, so that's a regret, right? How do you feel about that? He's like, I'm irritated that I worked so much. I was a workaholic because I had to. And I was like, okay, so now we're talking about what we talk about on the podcast. Now all of a sudden, it was like this light bulb went off in this
He's
gentleman's
like,
head.
oh wait, wait a minute.
Wait, wait. And I was like, we talk to people about being a toxic man, opening doors for women, being polite, being kind, right? Saying things like yes sir, yes ma'am, things like that. Sorry, the fucking mustache hair got in
It
my mouth
happens.
and
It
fucking
happens.
driving me nuts. Um, and so Tony all of a sudden just like it was weird. It was like this like it was like watching an orchid bloom in the dark, bro.
He's like, oh, it's not hipsters helping hipsters.
No, it's men
It's
helping men.
it's men helping men. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he's like, where did you get all this information from? I'm like, I didn't get it from anywhere because I literally fucking I did the disclaimer with him. I'm like, I'm not a men's mental health fucking professional. I just want people to stop eating bullets.
Lived it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like so he's been in the mine for like 55 years and he's talking about bullies and how we need more of them in the world so people can stand up to them. I was
Right.
like, oh yeah, we have it. We've had
We
like
talked. We
three,
had a whole podcast on that.
like yeah, like three times. Like it's a thing that needs to happen. And then he's like, oh, he's like he's like, you probably wouldn't understand this, but like I was a service member. I was like, well, I may look like a fucking hippie with my dreadlocks, big beard, and sleeve tattoos, but I served for 14 years. He's like, oh, I did a 2-year hitch tour in Vietnam. I was like, wow, fuck, dude, welcome home. And he was like, I didn't need no fucking help. I didn't need no thanks. I did what I was asked to do by the country, and I went over and I did it, and I came home, and yeah, I I was doing fucking ordnance disposal, and I was like, that sounds fucking terrible, like super fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And
Sounds explodey.
yeah, it sounds like you probably learned your toughness along the way and had to do it, and dude's like 5'6" and just like a monster of an old man. Like you know that you don't ever want to fight him
He's
because he's
just a
got that.
golem. Just
Yeah,
an
he's just got
absolute
that
golem.
crazy old man dwarf strength, right? Like you're like, oh,
Right.
I'm never gonna fucking. And we had a great back and forth conversation. But here's the thing, right? So, and I didn't realize this until this conversation, right? So there's the old school man and the methodology that we've talked about in the past, but we've never identified it as a specific methodology. And then there's the new school man, if you want to call him that, which is Like, I'm sorry, but I got all these fuzzy feelings, and I have to tell you about all of the feelings.
I disagree. I think that we've definitely gone over like the old school guy, like the old school mentality. But
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking go and put all my guys in this fucking new school man mentality.
But
Well, hold
so
on.
so here's the thing, right? So we never named it, but it's the old school methodology. We should just call it that moving forward, from my perspective. And then there's the new man, right? And then there's what we preach, which is the the balance between not talking about your feelings and talking about the appropriate feelings at the appropriate time, right? And then that's the men. That's what a man is to me, and I think that's what you're getting at.
Not really, but
Okay.
I was saying like you were trying to classify it as old school and new school, but I think that we have like probably a silent majority of dudes that think exactly like us or very close to, and then you have like these other these other dudes.
Fringe.
You could classify them as something else, right?
No, that's fine.
Um, you know, I because I think just splitting it into those two categories would be like categorically incorrect
Ooh.
because those guys that are like need to talk about their 3,000 fucking feelings, and then like guys that are like along the same mentality as us, it's like, dude, if you fucking have a hard time, talk about it,
Hmm?
but you don't have 50,000 fucking feelings, right?
Yeah. Well,
So
yeah.
I would say like those like a real fucking man today, that rocks like our thing. Yeah, maybe that's like the new mentality. And then you have like the fucking mainstream guy
No, I wouldn't even
or
say mainstream.
fucking TikTok guy or
The
whatever the fuck it
fringe,
is.
the fringe, because it seems fluffy and foofy. Anyways, it's totally
Yeah.
fine. Let's change the verbiage because we were basically communicating. We just kind of missed each other on the terminology. But like, for us, you have the old school way, and then you have what we are, and then you have the fringe shit that's like, like I want to sit at home and play video games all day and not do a damn thing and live in my parents' basement. That's not a man. That's not. It's not. You're not providing for society, not protecting your family, you're not doing anything.
Hmm.
It's okay if you play video games and you drink Code Red Mountain Dew. Just you have to be fucking smart about the time because you need to
Yeah.
you need to be part of society too.
Like, yeah. Like, I don't
Like,
know, man. I have a hard time finding. I love video games, but I have a hard time finding time to play video games
yeah,
too.
I have yeah, I got to adult. I got to be part of society. I have men to lead. I've got a home to protect and provide for, just like you. And like the men we talk about are definitely the silent majority. And,
Hmm.
and I think the weird switch is like you have this old school absolutely silent majority. Like, why do you keep trying to like mix minority and majority together? It's fucking weird.
Dude, I didn't. I think that's just you. You're over there
No, no,
singing
no, that's
Fraggle
me.
Rock songs.
Dude, phenomena. Do, 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 do. Phenomena. I mean, I kind of look like a puppet at this point, or a Muppet.
I don't know. I don't get it.
That's fine. Uh, so I think you're right though, and like the verbiage or what we're both saying is the same thing. We just don't classify it the same, and we need it for a reference for the future. So when people reference an episode, they can reference it as the old school, new school, and fringe. I think that's probably the best, right? The new school way of thinking is what we're, and it's maybe not new school, but for us, like nobody's ever taught us this. Like we just live it. It's just how we kind of evolved, I think. So we're the new school man, and then you have the fringe man who doesn't do a damn thing, and they are absolute garbage. Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't have a way to say that different.
I feel like there's definitely some instances now, and I don't really support that crowd or anything, but I think there is some instances now where they're realizing, holy shit, like I don't want to fucking do this. I don't want to be this way. And they're starting to kind of move over to like that silent majority side of, you know, being a man, taking care of people and stuff like
Yeah,
that. I think there's definitely like begun to be like a swing back to it. And I think a lot of it goes along with like I can't figure anything out. Like I can't figure out how to get a girlfriend. I can't figure out how to, nothing's making me happy. Like, you know what I mean?
hmm
And all my only friends are online, you know. it's hard to have a tribe when, your tribe is just people that are, 2,000 miles away in a video game.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of the things that we talk about here um that have really hit home for me and you and everybody who listens. It's like, like the conversation about technology decreasing testosterone levels, right? And you have to like utilize your body to increase your testosterone production to be a man. Like if you don't, it goes away. Now there are different circumstances, and I'm not a fucking professional, but the reality is like, there are things that expedite your use of your body's testosterone. There's a theory out there that says your body will only ever produce X amount, right? So as you get to the end, your testosterone decreases, which makes sense to me. I don't know if it's real or not. I'm not a fucking scientist. I'm not going to be. However, these fucking things right here, these fucking things, and social media. As much as I love getting the message out and building a business off of social, it is absolutely a detriment to society. It is.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely hurt just as much as it's helped, right? Because
I,
uh, now we live in a society where we want the information and need the information right now.
mhm.
Whereas before, it didn't really fucking matter. You could go home, you could go to the library if you really needed to know the information, and you
You
could
pull
look it
out
up.
you pull out the Encyclopedia Britannica that's as big
Yeah,
as your body is.
but you had time to get answers and results.
Yeah.
Now we sit in front of computers all fucking day.
Hmm.
Um, if you're, you know, a lot of people are doing those jobs, and less people are doing the um the trade jobs, and that's just apparent by the actual numbers of tradesmen out there. Like in the next 10 years, tradesmen are going to be able to name their price.
Yeah.
They're already a very good, well-paid group of people, especially the owners of these companies.
Hmm.
But in the next 10 years, unless, people grow up and start going into the trades, uh, you know, HVAC, electrical, plumbing, like all that, um,
Yeah.
they're going to be able to name their price. And these guys are going to get old, they're going to retire, and there's not going to be anything left.
Agreed. Agreed.
So,
So,
but for the people like us that sit in front of fucking computers all day, we have to have the information right now.
mhm.
There's never a deadline that's a week or two out. It's usually I need this right now. And you're just expected that you can go get that information and pass that information on and pass it on intelligently. I don't think that that's real. Like that you can gather a bunch of information in that short amount of time and have it be like intelligent and look at it from all the aspects. But that's just me. But it's expected, right? And then we go to our
Mhm.
personal lives with these stupid phones and shit, and we live that when we're out of work, and we need the information now. Oh, let me just pull that up. Oh, you're going to send me something that's DocuSign for the company. Okay, well, let me just pull it up on my phone and I'll sign it right now.
Yeah.
Like,
It, it it's definitely it's a weird trip, and I live in this place where everything's 2 weeks from everywhere, and it takes 2 weeks for anything to get done. And I'm not. I mean, if you've been around me, you know that my mind goes a million miles a minute, and I'm thinking about not just the next decision, but like four decisions down the way. And it's not done. Like I feel like I do it pretty well, but it's not done efficiently by any means, right? If I sit down and I actually take the time to go through the methodology and give myself an extra day to do it, then it's done 1,000 times better, right? And I agree with you 100%. Like there's not really a lot in this world that has to be done right now. Like unless it's a life-saving moment.
right, right.
And I don't really run into very many of those in my life.
No,
And I'm glad that I don't. I'm super glad
yeah.
that I don't,
Like
right?
one in the last like 10 years.
Uh I have like four, but still, that's
you know?
yeah. I mean, but I put myself in the situations with search and rescue and like just things like that that I try to, be involved in that. But that's a different realm, right?
Hmm.
Um so outside of that in your day-to-day life, like there's not crucial decisions that need to be made instantly. They need to be thought out and planned out and figured out. That's a real thing. Um, I was doing a lot of research on what I wanted to talk about because after the trip to Texas, I met a lot of men that are growing up in this current world,
Mm-hmm.
and in conversations with them, like I was methodical, and I've been really trying to do this a lot more, putting my phone away when people are around me. Now I'm not good at it. I got a lot of work to do, but putting my phone away, right? So like at dinner, we have a rule that my phone is turned over and set on a different table because if it's within arm's reach and it goes off, I'll probably look at it. Because like I have this like fucking anxiety that I grew for having fucking red bubbles on shit. Like I gotta look at
Yeah,
them.
I fucking
I
hate that too.
hate the red fucking bubbles. I
I
can't.
started deleting apps so I didn't have red bubbles.
That's fucking fair. Like,
Because there was
like
always apps that I never looked at, so there was always getting like notifications, so I would just delete the app.
I I'll give you an example of like my anxiety, right? So for the longest time, I hadn't logged into like my Yahoo Sports account for fantasy sports for like 3 years.
Right.
Then I installed the account, right? Which then links my now Yahoo email from I don't know high school,
Eons
which is
ago, yeah.
fucking forever, two
From
decades ago.
dial up. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't call me old, you fucking dick.
I didn't, dude.
Um, yeah,
Just said you're
whatever.
analog.
Hmm.
What the fuck was that?
That was a scolding.
Oh my gosh. Sounded like a scalping.
Same. But like I had like 2000 and change in emails, right?
Mm-mm.
So instead of just like being okay with it, I literally went through because it only lets you fucking delete 50 emails at a time.
No, that's
I
dumb.
went I went through and I fucking deleted every single email. And then like anything that was like spam or whatever, I unsubscribed and I created a filter setting. It took me 3 days. Why did I do that? It literally did nothing for me.
I just deleted the app. I had the same fantasy Yahoo app. I just deleted the app. I just don't care. I don't fucking care.
I just, but that's like the anxiety that I get. And I'm like, oh, okay. And it's weird when I say anxiety because like I don't really get anxious very often. There's like 3 times a
Yeah, the
year that I get
fuck
anxious.
you. You're anxious all the time. You're like a little ball of anxiety all the fucking time.
No, I'm a ball of like, I put way too many fucking irons in the fire and then I just keep adding more. That's a difference.
That's anxiety. You literally just described anxiety.
Well, I removed a bunch of them this week.
I mean, so you're on the road to recovery.
Yeah, yeah.
You're on the recovery.
The first step to knowing you have a problem is admitting you have a problem.
I'm still waiting for you to admit it, but we'll get there.
I have a problem. I do have a problem.
12-step process.
Yeah, so I'm on the road. It's fine. At least I admit that I have a fucking problem, and I'm doing baby steps on the elevator.
Baby steps. Yeah, baby
Baby
steps.
steps.
It's good. I'm just saying, like, you will not know, like, just absolute freedom until you just go to your inbox and you just fucking like mark all as read or just delete everything.
Yeah, it still
If
takes
it's
time to do that.
if it's important, it'll pop back up. Or just delete the fucking account. You don't use it, right?
Yeah, the only caveat on that for me personally, and I'll just say this real quick, is all my ex's emails went to that account for a long time, so I have to like keep the fucking thing. I did export them. So now I'm like, cool. If there's anything that goes to that account, they don't fucking have my real email address.
And you just like forward it to your new one if it's important.
Well, I just downloaded them, put them in a save file and in a vault somewhere. But anyway,
Fun.
but I digress.
But it affected your mental health, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, like I don't need any more screen time. I
all right.
have way too much.
Yeah.
Like just sitting out, just doing work calls, and whether or not you realize it, if you're on a work call from your phone or on your computer, it's still fucking screen time, and you're still like in the book Atomic Habits, it talks about forming a habit, right? And like associating good or bad with that habit. Well, I associate a paycheck with being really fucking good in my life. It's kind of an important thing to survive. So now I'm there, right? And then if we translate that over to the bearded Viking stuff, I have to find a way to break free from scrolling and not give a shit about the scrolling portion to just posting things. And it's a weird thing for me because I don't know. I haven't figured out a way to like completely break the break free of them, because like you said so yourself.
I think once we get to a point where like we're like really busy with it, and because if we're scrolling, that means we like have some kind of free time, right? Like
Yeah.
we're not like on the shitter, like because there's nothing to do, right? And like
Mhm.
shampoo bottles, you can only read them so many times.
Yeah, and like nobody has a newspaper anymore.
Yeah, so like that's like your newspaper, right? But you're not watching news. Like for me, I'm like watching old cars and like stupid golf videos and shit like that. But I think once we like get to the point where like we're busy, then that scrolling like is going to cut down even more because we're gonna have to be doing stuff and like
Yeah.
have to like meet these other goals, these other deadlines and stuff like that. So I think that type of stuff will stop because then it's just going to be for work.
I think
Because
so
like
too.
both of our account, well, my account, I have one account, right, and it's just the Jarl.
Mhm.
That's it. So like the things that I like and stuff like that are cool. They're like cars. It's like things that like the type of culture things that I like, and that's that's kind of it. So if you like it and or if you follow me and you like it and you like some of the same shit that I do, so be it. If not, whatever. Like I post on there every once in a while. Um,
For now.
you post on yours all the time, but like I'll post the podcasts out, like these types of things. Um, but yeah, I still get sucked into it every once in a while. You go to check it out to make sure, like, if somebody messaged me, I message them back.
Hmm.
But, and I'm usually pretty good. Sometimes it takes me a day or two because there's a lot of stuff in there. But yeah, I think once that part of it kind of takes off, we'll have a lot less time to be scrolling and doing dumb shit unless we're posting dumb shit on
Which is fair.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's just
So
how business has to be ran now.
yes. So let's do this. Let me ask you two questions. They're going to be a two part question. Okay. The first one is, how would you define an old school man?
I think it's already been defined.
Well,
I
no,
mean,
but I'm asking
there.
you specifically, and Alex, the Jarl's definition of an old school man.
I think there's always been like with like that old school man, you have a little bit of a roughneck, no matter what kind of job they did.
Hmm.
Um, like those old school men, there was like kind of like the roughnecks, like the really fucking down, like nitty and gritty guys, and then there was just kind of like the yuppies. But I feel like even those yuppies knew how to do more shit than a lot of the men today
Hmm.
because they got taught by their old man who probably was in World War II or was in Vietnam or something like that. So I think that old school mentality still got passed along even when it came to like the ditch digger, the regular everyday, tradesman, roughneck, blue collar guy, all the way up to that yuppie. Um, let's say like, the so from like the mid 90s down, right?
Yeah.
That classification of man definitely did not talk about their feelings, did not talk about what was going on, and lived life a whole lot like your friend that you made at the Denver airport, where as long as there's food on the table and the mortgage was paid and the kids were taken care of, they did a good job.
Yeah.
And
Um.
the,
So how
the
would you?
regrets came later.
Yeah. How would you describe our version? Like, let's do 3 bullet points, and you can hold me accountable for the 3 bullet points of mine of a new school man.
All right. What's my other bullet point?
Well, no, for a new
Is,
school man,
is
a
this
new
going to be
man.
on the test?
It's no. I'm not taking any more tests. Fuck off.
Okay. All right. I think new school is got way too many feelings. Honestly, I, me personally, I think like a mix between old and new is good. I think that being able to like call your buddy and or know that your buddy's in trouble and pick up the phone or being able to call a buddy because you're in trouble, or you need somebody to talk
Mm-hmm.
to tell them like, hey, this is fucked up. I'm having a hard time with this. That is one thing, but having like so many goddamn feelings that you can't even identify what's wrong,
Yeah,
like that to me seems like a chemical imbalance.
because it is.
That seems to me like you need to like go out and like lay in the middle of the field and like let some sun hit you, and like maybe like go for a slight jog and like do something, right? That
Pick
seems
up a
like
pick up an axe, split some wood, do some man
like
shit.
that seems like it's something like chemically like wrong. But at the same time, like you don't want to be fucking like just chemically freaking handcuffed to like prescription drugs and shit too.
Right.
So like trying to navigate your way out of that when you're in it already seems like a very daunting task. So I could definitely understand and feel for some of those people. Like, how do I get out of this? If you're not like mentally equipped or like have the tools in your toolbox to get out of that, that's probably why they get stuck spinning their wheels in that type of rut, is just zero guidance to try and get out of it, other than this guy that they're talking to that they're paying way too much, and this guy that they're paying too much to give them drugs, and like this, you know what I mean? It's like kind of
Yeah.
like a vicious cycle that they've got into because maybe they didn't have a good male role model growing up.
Yeah.
Maybe they, didn't have that solid backbone. And I think that's where like the two kind of split is you have people that are old school, don't talk about shit. You have us kind of in the middle where we know if there's a problem, we got to fucking say something because people around us fucking die and
Mm-hmm.
they just choose to fucking up and make the move, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't think there's a way out when, a 20-minute conversation can make the world a difference. And then you got these people that are like chemically castrated because they have no fucking idea what to do because they didn't get the tools growing up.
Right. So I'm going to give you my breakdown. I'm going to give you a pass on the 3 bullet points because, like, I'm a rambler. But you can hold
Okay.
me accountable. You can hold me accountable.
Well, I mean, you
So
got old school, us, and the new guys.
yeah. So old school, new man, and the fringe.
Hmm.
That's what we, right. We
Yep.
classified. So I'll do the old school in 3 bullet points, new school in 3 bullet points, and the fringe in no bullet points because I don't give a fuck about them. Let's be real.
You got to though.
Yeah.
Got to.
Well, I do care about them, but I just don't like to have conversations. You finished it?
Thanks, Matt Byers,
Oh, okay. There you go.
my
All right.
guy.
So let's start off with the old school, right? So old school men are gruff and gritty. That's
Yeah.
that's how I describe all of them. You do the same thing. Maybe three feelings. Maybe, right? They don't talk about it. They keep it buried. It's just that's who they are. They died early because of a heart attack from stress or whatever, or they ate a bullet because they didn't talk about it and they didn't know what to do. They lost their wife because they're workaholics. I mean, that's that's what they were, right?
Hmm.
New men are men, the men that we surround ourselves with, like-minded individuals. Okay, so we can have conversations where we find compromise. So finding compromise in life is forgotten in my mind. It's just completely gone. Is you have your decision and their decision, and there's no meat in the middle anymore, which in itself creates fucking problems. Uh, for the men that I surround myself with, we are open to conversation when somebody's in pain, or on the flip side, because I don't like just to talk about the pain, we celebrate each other. Like we celebrate the wins and we're there for the downtimes.
That's important too, and I think that kind of goes unsaid a lot too. Is celebrating the wins.
Yeah.
Being happy.
I can't believe how many of you fucking people, I love you all, but I'm talking about the bearded Viking crew, started calling me Master JT like I was a fucking slave driver. Dicks. I
Um, it,
fucking
it makes sense until we saw you build a wall, and then it was Master Nate.
That's fair.
And everybody was just masturbating all over.
Yeah, that's fine. Masturbating for days.
Just masturbating, dude.
Yeah. The third bullet point I would say about the men that we surround ourselves with, right, is they're genuine and authentic. Like if you meet them in person versus an online piece, they are the exact same person, right? You can see if you watch our TikToks and you watch us interact and you watch all this bullshit, like this is who we are. Like there's nothing about us that's a facade.
Oh yeah, dude, I am as awkward online as I am in person.
Yes. And if you think that I won't wear jorts and cowboy boots in fucking town, you're crazy because I do it all the fucking time.
Dude, it's gotta happen.
Yeah, it's a real
I
thing.
mean, didn't you see me on the 4th of July?
Dude, you're welcome for those, by the way. They're so comfortable. Um, and then you have the fringe, right? And I'm a negative person on the fringe because typically the fringe haven't experienced anything and they're not willing to.
Now they piss me the fuck off too. They
Yeah,
do. They piss me the fuck off too,
so
but
much.
it's we still have to, if they weren't given the tools,
There's
it's like,
definitely there's definitely a piece there that you opened my mind to a little bit.
I mean, it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying
Yeah.
because they weren't given those tools, and it's like they never had a fucking shot, some of them. And
Right.
I feel for those ones.
I do too. You know, and I'm not gonna try to fucking break them down. That's my problem. Is I'm just gonna lump them together for right now until you fucking prove otherwise, right? Until you tell me otherwise.
Mm.
You show your actions tell me that you want to be different. To me,
Yeah.
there's the truth to that.
Yeah, actions definitely mean everything. But yeah, I feel for the ones that never had the tools, right?
Hmm.
And there's some that are just a absolute fucking lost cause. Like you've given them everything, and
Yeah.
they just whatever. You
I'm
know,
of the yeah, I'm of the mindset that with them, it's you can show them and lead by example, and if they don't get on the fucking train, then they're not on your train, and you don't need to fucking interact with them. You don't need to degrade them. You don't need to fucking tell them how you feel. You really don't need to have a conversation with them. Just cold shoulder that shit, right? And move on because they're not going to empower your life in any way. And we have that in our
sometimes,
world.
sometimes, but if I think that we've all been affected by by interactions before, right?
Hmm.
So it'll be my sensitive day, right? So if I go through a checkout, right, and I have one of those people, but I greet him and I talk to him like a man and I have a conversation with him, it might be one of those positive interactions.
Well,
So
that's
like I'm not gonna just like give him a cold shoulder and not talk to him, but I'm gonna always be like firm who I am and not, you know, I'm not giving, I'm not giving in, but I'm
mhm.
always going to be firm who I am and straight to the point when it comes to it.
Well, that's why I said lead by example, right? That's who we
Yeah.
are. We
I
lead
just
we
don't,
lead by
yeah, I just don't want people to like go out there and give them, other peeps the cold shoulder.
that's counter to what we're saying overall, right? We're saying be
Yeah.
kind to everybody. And that's what and it's a good point for clarification on from your side because like when we speak when we speak to each other we understand that back and forth and we understand what we're really meaning, but if you don't really know us then that could be like, hey,
Right.
here's a
It could have came across
polarizing
different.
yeah,
Yeah.
polarizing moment. Yeah, so when I say leading by example, I'm exactly echoing what you're saying. I'm
Yeah. I
saying
just
like
wanted, I just wanted to clarify,
I
for.
totally good, man. It was a fucking perfect moment for it. So the fringe folk, right? The final thing I'll say about them is listen, like I'm willing to be me in front of you, and I'm not going to compromise who I am ever. And if you don't like it, that's on you. Like you don't have to like me. It's absolutely okay. I'm a polarizing person. The Jarl is a polarizing person. We're polarizing because we do not bend to fit the narrative of what you think we should be. If you think it's toxic that I open a door for a lady or I say ma'am or I say thanks hun at a you know speaking to an older waitress, right? Um, and when I'm saying thankful things, that's not my fucking problem. That's a you problem. And if you're taking offense to the smiles that I got from them, look, maybe you should fucking learn a thing or two. I was taught by people who looked at me and said that I was the fringe at one point. We've all been there, right? As you age, you start realizing that those small things, literally a smile and saying, I hope you have a great day, can stop a suicide. Like, that's a real fucking thing. That could be somebody's, I'm making it to lunch today.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, you got to do those things. So how do we get back to being straight badasses? How do we get back to being to men being to their badassness, as I put in the agenda? Because I felt that was
The
a great
badassness.
word.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly, I think it comes down to like men treating men like men and
hmm
use the values that we've talked about, like are being toxic, right?
hmm The
Don't
pillars of a
lie.
man.
Yeah. I mean, but just your everyday interaction. Don't fucking lie. Be kind. You know, it shouldn't be that hard, right? And if you see another fucking dude that's having a fucking that needs help, go fucking help him.
Yeah.
If you see, like it's not that hard. It's like being chivalrous is just being respectful.
Yeah. It ain't. It
You
ain't.
you know what I mean? It's not that hard. And whether it's in a small town or a big city, like, I'm not saying like go around, with your cape on and try and help everybody like some kind of goddamn superhero, but like if you're in the moment, you see somebody that needs help, fucking just help them, dude. It's not that hard.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you see
And
somebody
it.
that's 50 cents short on their fucking groceries and you got an extra 50 cents, fucking give them your 50 cents, bro. Like just,
Yeah. Just.
you know,
Yeah. Just to take that moment and look and realize, like, we ain't getting through this alone.
mm, definitely not.
So, um, for me, how do you get back to being a badass? It's everything you just said, but there's a
Mm.
physicality to it as well. So we challenged everybody, to do this workout and like show us like what you're doing to be improve your physical health, right? Well, I've been working out 4 times a week and I feel great. Even when I was drinking down in Texas, like heavily drinking, I still worked out 4 times down there, and I was sore as fuck from trying to keep up with Tro.
Keep up with the
Motherfuckers,
old timer.
that motherfucker is yoked as a motherfucker, right? But like, but it's good, right? It's really pushing yourself to be better in one of three areas every day, physically, mentally, or spiritually, right? Like, if you're spiritually okay, then you'll be okay emotionally, and your physicality, because if you do a leg day, for those that don't do leg day, it's some of the biggest muscles in your body, and you'll have a euphoric feeling when you're done. You'll feel like you can't walk upstairs. That's okay, right? But you'll feel better for doing it.
You'll
Like,
get that. You'll get that T boost.
yeah, right. So to me, beyond, you know, just being a toxic man and following our pillars of being a man and understanding those things that we live and we value, right? It's limit your screen time, get out in the sun, get outside, lift some shit, or be physical in some way at all, whether it's, jujitsu or judo, or maybe you just fucking want to chop wood because that shit's actually really fucking calming, and it's very, very, for me, it's calming. It's like, it's just so euphoric almost. It's just like this moment of just clarity of just like, I'm out here listening to music or a podcast and I'm just chopping wood and I'm stacking wood. And that sounds silly to a lot of people in the city, but it is absolutely the thing. It's like with the meadery, like how many hours have we all spent doing some physical labor. Now, I hated fucking most of it because I suck at it, but it made me better.
Well, and like everybody that showed up, everybody took their jobs, right?
hmm
They decided what job they were going to do, and they did that job until completion.
Yeah.
without being told, without a whole lot of guidance, it's like, okay, well, there's too many people doing this, so I'm gonna go do this, and we just started like pairing up and getting shit done, right?
Yeah.
But it was physical shit. It was kind of like mentally taxing some parts because you're like, how the fuck is this all gonna fucking fit together and work out? And then like my dumb ass, it's never up on a ladder, is like fucking 15 feet up in the air, like trying to figure out not to, yeah, how not to die. Then you got people like Donnie standing on the top of a fucking 10-foot ladder, not giving a fuck. I'm like, all right, that fucking dude does this. He fucking knows. Nate fucking knows. They don't fucking care. They're more sure-footed than I am because they fucking do this.
Yeah.
So like that's still like we did the job, but like knowing your limitations too,
Yeah.
because somebody fucking does this for a living, or somebody knows how to do this better. That's okay. Learn from it.
Yeah. Or just reflect.
Yeah.
Understand, be physical, reflect. Look at your
Well,
your spirituality, reflect.
when I
Right?
don't have to fucking chop wood, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't need to. I live out away from the city, but I don't need to chop wood
But
unless
I
we go up
bet
to the
you
property. But I drive the fucking cars.
yeah,
And one mental health thing that happened to me is I just got Black Betty back. So Black Betty's sitting out in the garage again. So and that helped me because my boy wanted it back because he was crushed when it was gone, and now it's
mhm,
back. So, things like that, those are like small expensive wins.
yeah. And I think that's really important on how to get back to being a badass, right? Like if you play Dungeons and Dragons, it's okay to play Dungeons and Dragons. Just make sure that you're intertwining that with being a good man. Like totally okay. Like I'm not trying to yuck your yum at all. It's not my fucking cup of tea because I have zero thought on imagining that I'm a fucking Viking with a falcon because I'm a Viking with a falcon in real life. So whatever, right? I don't need to fucking live that life. I don't need to go and pretend like I battled in battle because I did that. However, some people didn't get the opportunity, or they didn't have that opportunity, or that's their realm of happiness. That's totally okay. Expand on that shit. Just understand that you have to do other things to be good, right? So that's an example, right? And I'm not trying, like I said, I'm not trying to yuck your yum, but also at the same time, you're not going to come out hunting. That might be the complete opposite for you, and that's okay. That's my zen. That's like hunting season for
It
me.
doesn't always have to be the same for everybody.
No, yeah, exactly. So, um, I think
I gotta
that's.
I got a paw on my shoulder. he's,
Oh
he's
well,
he's he's really soaking it all in right now.
yeah, I love it. So one final thing before on the mental health thing that I just want to touch, right? So um, besides the fact that we're not actual men's mental health counselors and whatnot, I do want to expand on the fact that even though we're not, we're advocates, and what that means is that you can be an advocate, right? You can say, "This is who I am authentically. This is how I live my life," and you could lead by example. And I know that the Yar will echo this, but I want to challenge y'all to be authentic 100% of the time. Like, don't change who you are to fit the narrative of what you think needs to be done.
Yeah, and everybody's narrative isn't going to be the same.
Yeah,
So if
yeah,
your narrative is, playing video games, but you go out there and you get after it, and you're working on being a fucking better man too, then that's your narrative. Go after it. Not everybody was meant to be part of, the 1%, like the military, and go out and kick indoors and do the warrior shit. Not
mhm.
everybody was cut out for it. Not everybody was meant for it. Dude, it happens.
None of us
But
care.
yeah, be good at what you do, and have your narrative and stick to
Agree.
your narrative. Take care. It's still not hard to go take care of people and to
Hmm.
be authentic. It's
Yeah,
just not. You
it's
can
just
still
not.
do it.
And you don't even have to be financially okay to take care of somebody. You could just take care of them as a friend. Just be there.
Yeah.
So,
Words.
yeah, words and actions. If you say them, do them. Pretty simple. Lost on the fucking world today. All right. So that is a pretty good men's mental health portion there, I think. Yeah.
Gus likes it.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, Gus.
Gus is super into it.
He's super into you.
Yeah, he really digs mental health.
Yeah. So
he's good at mental health. He's always there for you.
He's definitely a professional. So let's jump into some stuff, some
spooky stuff.
All right, so I'm excited about the paranormal section today. We have talked about paranormal really for a bit. We've been in conspiracy land, and whoever you are in DC and Maryland that keep following us now, you weren't following us before, but hey, we're talking about some shit that's different. Feel free to go ahead and continue to investigate us not knowing a damn thing, because we don't.
Yes. Idiots. Okay.
Yeah. There's lots of views over that way now, all of a sudden, for no reason. So it's fine. Yeah. So we're not talking about the place down south this time at all. What we're going to talk about is twofold. So first, why is there a rise in paranormal activity? And the second, we're going to talk about some Tommy Knocker shit.
Okay.
So I'm going to start off with the basic question that I just asked. So I have been noticing a huge upward tick lately. And it reminds me of Ghostbusters, when there's like a convergence in Ghostbusters, the original one. I don't know if you saw it. But like all of a sudden there's all this paranormal activity that's stacking on top of each other, right? And my question is why is there a rise, or is there a rise, versus now we're just seeing it more because people have their fucking phones everywhere? And I'm going to start off by asking that question to you.
I think it's probably this. I think it's probably both. I think that, and we've talked about this before, I think that the veil is thinning. And like when that veil thins, these bad things come out to play. There's not as much power. There's not as much power holding them back. And then people's phones are always there, right? So, and people are always wanting to post shit, and at the expense of staying in the fucking house or the room or whatever the fuck is going on and having this shit go down.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's twofold. I think that there's a lot of dumb shit that happens.
Mm-hmm.
People play with Ouija boards that shouldn't fucking touch them. People open up things that they shouldn't do because they don't understand it. And even if they think they are one thing and they know it all, like, it doesn't happen the way they planned it. And so they open up these portals, things come out, you can't put the genie back in the bottle, and people have phones, tons of phones now. And they want to go viral. They want their cool video to be shown.
Yeah, and they want the likes and subscribes.
I think there's a lot of fakes out there too.
So
making video magic is fucking easy now. It's so easy now.
I agree with that. There's definitely a lot of that, but like you can tell the difference because you can tell a genuine reaction versus like a false reaction. I have a real hard time when there are two cameras set up in an area, right? And like one is showing one spot that is obviously the focal point, and another is showing like the inside spot, right?
Yeah.
And I'll give a reference. So I was watching some paranormal shit, getting prepped for this episode, and there was this video of a thermal camera aimed at the front door of this trailer this dude was staying in overnight. It was like a pole behind. He was preface though, he was staying in like the gate to hell out in Tennessee or whatever the fuck it is, that circle place. He was staying there. So it might be real. I don't know. But like there's also a fuck around find out fucking moment for a lot of people, right? And then he had his video camera, his phone set up watching the door. So I feel like it was staged. But the door just fucking opened up and slammed. It was shaking the whole fucking trailer like 10 times. And I was like, and he didn't move. And I'm like, there's like a 10% part of me is like, that dude is frozen with fear. But there's also me knowing who I am, who's like, if that door is fucking slamming on its own, I'm racking around and I'm walking outside. Like I'm gonna go towards the enemy to stop it. Right? That's just kind of what I was taught. And I know that's
Yeah,
not
like
everybody.
the
But you're
assault
still gonna
forward. Yeah,
yeah, there's still the investigation. Or like you're gonna get up and fucking move away from the door because you don't know what's coming through the fucking door.
right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like you
Like
don't like you can go catatonic, maybe. Fight, or freeze. But like I'm like, like I'm
I
never gonna
get
freeze that much.
like some people definitely have the freeze. But I don't know, man. I heard pounding on my fucking trailer when we were at fucking whatever the fuck. What the fuck is that place called? Current
Current
Creek.
Creek.
And my first thought wasn't to hide under the fucking covers. Like I fucking racked around and I fucking radioed to you fucks, but your radios were off because I thought one of you guys might be fucking with me. And then I was like, okay, well, here we go. Auto start the truck. There's light there. Bust on all the floodlights on the fucking trailer. There's that. And still didn't stop. So I'm like, all right, here we go. Like, are we fucking doing this or what?
Yeah.
Stop keeping me in fuck. I lost my words. Don't keep me just waiting. Like, let's
Yeah.
go. Like,
Yeah. Like
are we gonna do this or not?
yeah, we dancing today? Yeah.
Yeah, let's fucking
Uh
go. One of us is going down, dude.
yeah, and I'm not opposed to shooting a ghost.
No, dude, I'm sending rounds down range. Cause the second I open up the boomstick, like your guys' trailers are coming too.
Yeah.
And like I might go down in a blaze of glory, but you guys are gonna get the bad guy for me.
We hope.
Like,
Because if it's one of the things we don't talk about when it's dark, which
oh,
is not dark,
he's
right? If
dude,
it's a skinwalker,
he's
uh
fucking going down, dude.
yeah.
You
I mean
know
it's
that you know that Doc has like some silver bullets or some bullets dipped in ash sitting in his trailer somewhere
no way.
because it's plausible.
Yeah. Fucking fucking guy.
Doc
Fucking
would kill him all by accidentally dropping his mag in the fucking fire pit,
it's just sending fucking
and then
ash
just
at
start
him.
sending rounds down range.
Yeah, just like they just really disappeared, and then all of a sudden he'd be a holy man, and he'd fucking like completely
Holy
180.
shit!
Yeah. So, all right. So I have a similar thought, but a little bit different take, right?
Okay,
Okay. So, um, I think that the veil is thinning. I agree with you 100%, but I don't think it's thinning because of time. I think it's because humans are fucking with the veil too much, right?
hmm
Right. So I think with the whole thing in CERN and their
I don't
whole
think
like,
it's a natural thinning. I agree.
yeah, I think it's a culmination, right? So I think with the thing in CERN where we're starting to tear realities, and they're not admitting it, but they're still fucking tearing realities. Like, I do believe the Mandela effect, and call me fucking crazy, I don't give a shit, but I believe what I believe, and I believe the Mandela effect is because at one point CERN fucking they found the God particle, and in doing so, they tore a hole in two universes, right, or two realities, and the old reality that we knew these things crashed into the new reality, and like that whole population, if you're not here now, you didn't make it, right? There's people that faded out of your life, and you can't even find them on social media, which is weird, right? Very few people are that, right?
Yeah,
And then so they tore that, or they did that, and then they were like, oh well, the reactor didn't work really well, so we made some modifications, and you're like, okay, stop fucking touching shit. Like we
yeah.
don't need to just leave it
Don't fucking
alone.
touch it.
Just
That's
don't
like
do.
playing with a gigantic fucking gajillion-dollar fucking Ouija board.
Yeah. Well,
You're
then
playing with shit that you don't fucking understand.
and
You
you don't.
have fucking you have things from like the Vedas and all this religious shit sitting out there on your campus.
Yeah. Don't touch it.
Like, don't fucking touch it. Leave it alone.
Like even if you don't believe in it, don't touch it. Just fucking leave it alone. And then you have that, and now you have a trend that's going more than it was when we were younger, of people videoing themselves on a Ouija board. And like when they
So
video
bad.
themselves on on the Ouija board, dude, like I have a hard time even fucking watching those because I'm like, I don't want to invite that in my
Like
house.
it's
Like
gonna come in. It's gonna
I've seen
come
the
through the phone.
Grudge.
It's gonna come through
Or
the
is
phone.
it the Grudge or the Ring? Which one? The Grudge? I think it's the Grudge that comes through the fucking
No,
the
it's the
VH.
ring that comes
The
through the
Ring?
TV. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the Ring.
Have you seen
Like
that girl, by the way? There's that woman. She's
no,
absolutely gorgeous.
it makes sense.
like, like I saw it the other day.
There's a lot of terror behind gorgeous women.
That's true. Like the hot to crazy scale.
Crazy,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's
Uh-huh.
like
Yeah. It's a
pinged at full throttle.
yeah.
Right,
Watch
right.
out, guys.
Yeah. So no, I and I think that there's now that trend, and what's happening is you have CERN, it's doing its fucking dumb shit, which is already thin the veil, and now you have a population of people who are fucking around with shit they don't know, which is adding to it. So you have like, like fire by effect, right? You have a machine gun fucking launching rounds down the range, and now you have like an entire battalion just shooting their M16s. And so what happens is you create this wall of bullshit that's penetrating what is known to be like don't fuck with, right? And eventually it breaks down. And so I look at it in this realm of like, what the fuck? And
I
so
think I think that you have there's two parts though too to this too. Or an additional two pieces. You have a lack of religion and belief,
Mhm.
okay? And you have people with just absolutely no guidance,
oh yeah.
just trying to get famous. Because I feel like if you have that piece, like I'm not saying like all go out and join an organized religion,
No.
but I'm saying like if you go out and you find God, you find Odin, like you find
Y-
your religious piece,
Yeah, your
you're
spiritual path.
not going to be you're not going to be going and fucking with that shit because you know that
No.
something can come through. So
But
like you have like that naivety of people that are going and doing shit like that. They have no
yeah.
guidance. They've never been brought up like in any kind of like religious or like anything backing that. And it's just you have a whole lot of lost people looking for effect. And they do that little cause thing and then they have a lot of effect and then they get totally fucked for like
Yeah.
ever.
But they're not just totally fucking themselves is the problem.
No, they're not.
They like
They're the
they're
whole family is
Dude,
fucked.
yeah, like yeah. We talked about like having a welcome mat in front of your house and like what that actually does and like it makes so much sense. And like since I've gotten rid of my welcome mats, guess what happens? We just have the little girl that's hanging out in the house and she's super kind and she doesn't fuck with us. She talks to the dog. She is who she is and like totally cool. And like if she comes to me and says, "Hey, I need help to cross over," I will help her. But I'm not going to openly interact with trying to do that because she ain't fucking with me. I ain't fucking with her. I've been okay with it forever, right? But I'm not also not going to be like on a spirit box or
Yeah,
in a
you remember
Ouija
you
board.
remember when that
Yeah,
happened though? And I
yeah,
was
dude.
like,
I was
dude,
like,
you gotta shut that down.
I
Like
did. Yeah, I went up.
immediately. And you're like, yes, I am done with this.
I was like, none of that shit's allowed in the house. We don't do it. We had to fucking we use Palo Santo to cleanse everything. You have to open the windows. I salted the fucking doors. Like I was like, I'm fucking over this. Like I don't need that. Right?
Right.
Like I don't need some shit crawling through a fucking TV screen and taking my
No.
life to pass it on.
And that was a young person that did not know, thought they knew, like thought it was all researched, right?
No, yeah.
But
Mm-mm.
that type of shit does not work the way you think it works.
No, it never has.
Like,
It never will. Like when I do offerings to the gods that I pray to, you know what I do? I do the offerings that I know work. I give them mead, or I will dedicate a hunt to them in their honor. And that, or I'll dedicate like when I was fucking praying to fucking pass that goddamn econ final that took me a year to pass. Like, um, I dedicated that to Odin in his name, right? To do it. And like that's known. It's a known end state for me. right? And I'm not saying don't go explore, but you got to explore with safety nets around you. Like you can't just go walking through the wilderness without a fucking firearm to protect yourself. No, the people who do that shit, guess what happens? They get fucking eaten. They get super fucking dead.
So dead.
So
So
fucking
much
dead.
dead.
Like you want to be like a fucking you want to be a granola dude or girl or whatever you are, Ferris wheel, I don't give a shit, unicorn, don't care. And you go out in the wilderness without bear spray, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna be a granola bar.
Yeah.
Like you're going to get eaten.
Somebody's gonna find you next to a river in a big pile.
You got or you're going to end up not coming back because you didn't prepare, right? And like people think that they can get by just following trails, but like being part of search and rescue, like so many people fucking die on trails or they fucking hurt themselves and they're not prepared for it.
It
And
just
and I'm like,
happens. And there's things out there. I swear to God, there's things out there in those fucking woods.
oh
And
yeah,
if
there's
you're not fucking angry and prepared, like those things out there are gonna fucking get you. Like
yeah,
there's a definite there's a reason why your hair stands up. There's a
yeah,
reason why you get a feeling that you're being watched or you get a bad feeling in your stomach. Like there's reasons for that. That's the human survival instinct. It goes back forever.
mhm.
And there's no predators to man at this point in history. There's stuff that's going to sneak up on you, but if you're prepared, there's nothing that is predatory that is going to absolutely fucking just nail you, kill you if you're prepared.
No,
But there's those things out there where
hmm
you're prepared, but your spidey sense starts tingling. That shit is ancient. You gotta listen to it,
we
and
did when we were in Current Creek. We turned to fuck around first
you get
chance
the
we could.
fuck right out of there.
Yeah,
Yep.
like let sleeping dogs lie, bro. Like we don't fuck with the sleeping dogs. You know what I'm
Dude,
saying?
there's times, and there's places, and those places and those feelings might not happen in the same places.
No, they're like it's completely different, right? So
Hmm.
here's the so that's the why of what's happening, right?
Hmm.
As far as like the video and thing, so like I have a hard time watching videos because like you said, it's really easy to fucking fake some shit these days. Really, really, easy. And especially with AI now, like AI is like writing poetry,
Just
fucking
always look at the
painting
fingers.
fingers
Look at the fingers. The fingers are always fucked up on AI
for now.
for now.
For now. And it could change tomorrow. Like realistically, it's evolving so fast. It's not checked. It's writing its own algorithms, it's writing its own feelings, it's writing its own thoughts, and it's like analyzing humanity. It's only a matter of time till it's Skynet. Like the reality is that, right? There's nothing to keep it in check.
There's a lot of really cool potential, but it definitely has to be kept in check.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool potential, but there's also humanity writing the fucking algorithm behind it. So
When humanity lets it go, that's when it gets scary. That's when it becomes a problem.
yeah, and like all it takes is one bad actor, right?
Yeah, dude.
So
Our boy Elon talks about it.
yeah, well, yeah, there's a lot of people that talk about it. Like even the founder of ChatGPT was talking about it and how he was worried about it in the future. So, but I don't want to talk about AI. We're talking about ghosts. So the thing that I have noticed. So I've been watching a couple of videos. Well, like by a couple, it means that I was scrolling until I fell asleep. On just specific like things, paranormal activities that are happening for specifically ghosts for this podcast, that have been happening. And there are more and more of these quote unquote ghost hunters that are actually really experiencing paranormal shit that is being filmed because they're set up for it on purpose. And they're going to these fucked up places and dealing with these fucked up dolls or they're asking fucked up questions for these like serial killers and these asylums and shit. And it's like, who why would you want to talk to a serial killer? Why wouldn't you just want to talk to a little girl who's having a great time playing fucking basketball?
Asylums are scary places.
Yeah, like they fucking literally died in the most fucking horrific ways possible. Like, why would you want to go to a prison where there was an electric chair and fucking ask to talk to the people there? What are you going to get out of it? What are you going to get out of that?
Because it's your profession.
No. Go somewhere else.
No.
Leave the fucking bad things alone. Don't touch the bad things.
That's like telling you not to make mead with honey.
I can't
It's
relate.
their profession.
No, they could go somewhere else. They don't have to have a scary interaction. They could have a calm interaction like I have with the little girl that lives here.
It's not is marketable and
Yeah. Don't
clippable for the Discovery Channel.
don't fucking touch it. Leave it alone. It's like I follow this dude who's got squatches and this on TikTok. And like some of the shit, I'm like, eh. But some of the shit, I'm like, okay. And you can literally hear the tremble in his voice, like he's terrified of what's happening right now, right? Like some of it, you're like, maybe. Some of it, you're like, holy fuck. And others, you're like, you didn't have some shit happen for too long and you're fucking losing your following for a minute, which is also super lame. But like the shit that's real, you know it's real based off of the fucking what's
People get
happening.
addicted to that shit. People get
Yeah.
addicted to like getting followers
I mean,
and
it's
the stuff like
it's
that.
it's
It's
weird. It's super fucking weird. But like I've been watching, so I was watching this Ghost Hunter thing, right? Like, and then this this dude was in the middle of having a conversation with people, and I think they were on that was it the Proud Mary, the fucking ship,
Queen Mary.
Queen Mary
Yeah, in Long
in
Beach.
Long Beach, yeah. And they were there, and they were trying to talk to the dude that's in the engine room, right? So they
Like
have
the
all these fucking
engineer.
like yeah, the whatever, yeah. He's in the engine room. There's a ghost that's in the engine room. He's known,
Okay.
right? And so they have all these things set up, and they're not even in the middle of actually trying to spirit box him or anything like that. They're just having a conversation. And this one, I'm getting chills talking about it, by the way. So this one dude is sitting there. He's like, "Hey, and he's like the producer or something like that. And he's like, "Hey, so I want you guys to be on the spirit box. We don't want to have any cuts because if we have cuts, then it's not real. I want you guys to be on the spirit box and ask, why are you here? How come you haven't transitioned, right?" And when he says that, you see the back of his shirt pull out and he stops talking. Like he's absolutely frozen and petrified. And they're like, "What do you want us to ask?" And he's like, "My shirt just got pulled off the back of me. Do we have a camera running? Because I can't move." He's like, "I'm terrified right now." And you literally like, you're like, "Okay." And you can hear the fear in his voice. And I'm like, "Okay." So that's an instance to me that feels real, right? Because
Mhm.
he's like not he's not trying to fucking do anything. He's literally trying to be the producer of this fucking moment. And you're like, holy fuck, dude. And then like, my own personal experiences and your own personal experiences, we know that they're there. And you're like, dude, what the fuck? So
Yeah.
um I want to move on to a story that was told to me.
Tell me the
Re-
story. I love stories. Is it
Okay.
story time?
It's story time.
Story time.
As they used to do on the reels or vines or whatever that used to be called.
Fucking no.
I don't know. So I was at the meadery, and a gentleman you haven't met yet, but you both need to meet, and you will in due time. Mr. Hook, John Hook. He came up. He's like, "Hey, man." I was like, "Hey, let's have some beers at the meadery. Like, I'm just gonna be cutting and putting up some finishing stuff." He's like, "Cool, dude." I'm like, "You don't need to do anything else. I already got yellow bellies, some banquets there. We're gonna just fucking hang out for a minute. I need some bro time for a minute." This was about a month ago. And he's like, "I have to talk to you about something." And I was like, "What's up, dude? Like everything okay at home? Like what's up?" He's like, "No, everything's fine at home. Kids are great. Wife loves me again for now until I fuck up."
Right.
Yeah,
Building
totally good.
cycles for all of us.
Oh yeah, it's a real thing. And he's like, "Dude, um, so last night I was on the I was headed down to go drill in this area, and I saw a miner walking up towards me as I'm driving down, and he stopped me, and I had a full on conversation. But he wouldn't turn off his headlamp. We had a good 5 to 6 minute conversation, and he was telling me about how the mine it wasn't producing like it should, and it's just not worth my time to go down there tonight. And I was like, really? Like, well, where's your partner at? He's like, John calls everybody, hey, Pard, Pard. Hey, Pard, where's your people at? Where you coming from? And so like the miner never gave him his name or anything else like that, right? And so he's like waiting, right? And nobody had been down that shaft yet for the day, or they like
The shift.
the shift
Yeah.
had been changed or whatever. He's like, well, can I give you a ride back? And he's like, no, I'm just gonna walk out. So John's like, well, let me give you some water or something like that. I can't remember exactly the details that perspective because I was just like in awe of the conversation. So John turned around to grab something to give to the guy, and the guy disappeared. As he disappeared, that portion of the mine collapsed.
No shit.
Yeah.
So he held him off.
He held him off
He
because that's
held
what
him
Tommy.
off.
Yeah. So that's what Tommy knockers do.
Tommy too. I just
Yeah.
got chills. I got chills like all over.
Yeah. Same. And I was like, holy fuck, dude. He's like, yeah. So we had to go dig out the rest of that portion of the mine. He's like, where it collapses, where I was drilling for the past 3 days, because they work on 4 days on, 4 days off.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, if that's not the accurate, like detailed, accurate perception, understand this is a month ago, and I've been talking to him
sitting
about
on
it.
it.
But
Yeah, we've been sitting on it.
Because we had to deal with some shit down south. You know what I'm saying? Some aliens and shit. But so I got to thinking, like, on that note, like I'm super happy that my buddy John's still alive, because he wouldn't have been alive if he would have got there on time.
Tommy Knocker number 2 saved his life.
That's the second time a Tommy Knocker saved his life, right?
Yeah.
And I got to thinking, I'm like, like maybe the veil is thinning in areas that are negative, but maybe the veil has always been thin enough on the positive side that there's an allowance to save people.
I think people are always being saved. I think the problem is people are too busy and too closed off to realize that they could have been saved.
So that the old timer Tony, when I was at the airport, I was telling him about, like, so we don't only just do podcasts about like men's mental health. There's also like a paranormal portion. And I was like, so you're a miner? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, how many experiences have you had with Tommy knockers? He's like, they saved my life like 20 times. So I don't talk about it, because if I don't talk about it, then it keeps happening. And I'm like, okay, John, stop fucking talking about it. It's like, I want you to be around for the rest of my life. You're a great fucking dude. You're one of my best friends. Like,
I think that we've all had those instances.
Mm-hmm.
I know that, like, I mean, obviously I'm not a miner, but I've definitely had those instances where
MINER.
Yes, for all of those people. But I've definitely had those instances, and I was just talking about it with a friend the other night, where, yes, things would happen, I would get a feeling, and it was time to get the fuck out of there. And you got to listen to it, dude. You have to listen to it. Is like uncool and is like inconvenient as it might be. You got to listen to those things, man, because it could literally save your life.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, right? So we listened to the feeling we got when we were headed to the res, where the skinwalkers possibly were up at Current Creek. We both got fucking chills. We both had an uneasy feeling, which means that we were both probably in danger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Real. The story about the Squatch for me. The story about the ghosts for both of us, right? Those are moments where we stopped and listened, right?
Oh yeah, and those are paranormal moments. I'm even talking about like physical fucking damage and harm came.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about this, right? Like the stories about me over in Afghanistan and Iraq, like I have no business being alive, but I just listen to the moment. Do I always listen to the moment? No. Should I listen to the moment often? Yes. 100% of the time. The only time I've ever taken a big game animal is when I listen to the moment because I was guided for that day, for that moment, for that hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like don't get in your head about listening to the moment. Like just you have to be I, I think you have to tap into the ether of the universe, and you can only do that if you put your fucking phone away and you go for a walk. Or you have clarity for that moment where you're not focused on something, you're so immersed in the moment that the ether of the universe flows through you. You know what I'm saying? And I sound like a fucking hippie, but like as much as I can say that, it's truth.
It might happen. It might guide you. It might not. But when when danger calls, it's definitely speaking to you. It will speak to you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like definitely been more situations than not, listen or die.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm okay with listening.
Like I'm okay with both because I've dealt with death so much in my life. I'm like, fine, whatever. But I'd prefer to stay alive for one more day, one more lunchtime, one more fucking dinner to spend more time with my kids and like try to make an impact on the world in a positive way.
I mean, like being afraid of death is not something that like I'm not afraid of death, but when those situations are coming up
Mm-hmm.
that you can get yourself out of that situation if you just
Yeah,
listen a little bit longer.
yeah. Well, I mean, there's a reality set to that. So, Um, I don't know what everybody else thinks, but I know what we think. So drop your comments in the comment section, or if you are listening on Spotify or anywhere else, fucking shoot us a message on Instagram post or TikTok post or whatever. Like, let's go viral with it. Let's ask the world what they think. Um, I don't want us to be like the rest of the podcast where they're like, here's the theory and podcast today like so hear this. Like these are real interactions that people that we know have had, um and we don't speculate, we just tell you what we've been told, like this is what it is, and we tell you how we feel, so we're different than them.
Well, and I don't have enough followers on Instagram either, so
Go follow
uh,
the Jarl. Jesus Christ, it's not that hard. Like I love y'all for following the Bearded Viking and following the Montana Bearded Viking, but go follow the fucking Jarl. He needs people that are not bots, please. Please, for fuck's sake.
I get so excited. I'm like, oh
The
shit. Ah, never mind.
the Jarl underscore BVMCO. If you want to follow me, it's the Montana Bearded Viking. But if you're listening, you're already probably following me. It's fine. So whatever.
Maybe.
Um, if you're not and you're from Maryland, don't follow me.
Maybe it's like do we still have followers in Russia?
Yeah,
And
yeah, we do. We do. We actually have followers from Russia, from India. We had some in the Ukraine, but I don't know if they're alive still. So I mean, there's that. But if you're
I mean,
not, RIP.
Russia's probably doing its thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you
Did
can't.
you see that Tucker Carlson interview with Poot Poot?
Yeah, we need to talk about that next week.
It's pretty good.
I mean, it was the most honest interview I've seen in a long time.
I thought it was funny that Tucker Carlson can make Putin laugh. I thought that was pretty good.
I thought it was fucking funny that Putin is just a dude trying to lead the fucking bunch of people.
He,
He's just a dude.
dude, he seems like a dude, and
He's
he's
just
not
a
like, and he doesn't talk shit. Like he's like, that's not my place to say it. Like even though it's like the interpreter and stuff, like you can see his body language. He's like, it's not my place to say it.
yeah. He's like,
If you want to hear about it, talk to them, or it's in this news report, or it's I'm like,
yeah. He's like, I know. He's like, I know
that's a cool
way
guy.
more. He's like, I know
Huh.
way more than you. And listen, like, I'm not one way or another about Russia, but I don't. I think that there was. We're fucking digressing. Anyway,
Oh,
but
are we wrapping this up? Yeah. So we'll
yeah, we
talk
were
about it
wrapping
next
up.
week.
next week. But
on
like
the Bearded Viking podcast.
No, on the Vikings, Outlaws, Cowboys.
Like I said, the Bearded Viking podcast.
No, the thing I'll end with is like, like I'm not for Putin or against Putin because it's not my fucking problem to fight anymore. Like I care about America problems. I don't care about Russian problems. I sure as fuck don't care about the Ukraine problems. We give them enough money, they can figure this shit out. But like, you know, he seems like a person who's just trying to do the best with what he has. And I'm not pro war at all. Like if you know me, like I'm a Vietnam vet 2.0. I can't give a fuck.
No, I'm saying stop giving fucking money to Ukraine. Let them sort their shit out.
I'm saying stop giving money to anybody who's not a U.S. citizen. Fuck off.
Yeah, no shit. Good thing is if they try and ban Tucker from getting back to the U.S., he can just come across the border. That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty open borders, but they can't because it's freedom of press. It's the Third Amendment. It's fine, whatever.
Yeah, but they don't follow that anymore.
That's fine. All right, let's do some shout outs, bro. Who do you do need to do a follow on, a final shout out to two people. You start today, sir.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
You have two people that you will shout out to.
You
did one
nobody
earlier. You did one earlier, and then you have somebody else you need to shout out to encourage him to reference the fucking episode and the topic.
Are you talking about Rob?
Oh, that's correct, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, he's all caught up, so we know he's caught up. So we know that he's always referencing the most current episode.
No, we don't, because he also gets bored and goes back and listens to some shit from weeks ago.
Every once in a while.
Yeah.
But this is 40. This is 40.
This is 40.
This is 40. So, Rob, make sure that you give us, some kind of date stamp. Give us the episode. Context.
Before the message.
And then yell at us.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. And then you shout out the other person earlier, but like just a final shout out to him.
Oh, dude,
because he is a badass.
Yeah, Nick is like one of the coolest, dude. And I never would have expected like Nick to be like on board all the way, like the way he is, and I love it, dude. It makes me so happy. So, shout out to Nick. Keep doing what you're doing. You're never gonna hurt my feelings, bro. I love you long time.
I want to love you a long time. I can't wait for you to come out to Montana and drink some mead with me. And of course the Jarl, because that's going to be where his second home is. He bought a home in the Uintas, but he's going to be in Montana way more than fucking Uintas.
We'll see.
We know this. This is true. He doesn't want it to happen, but it's really true. Anyway, so I got like 5 shout outs to do.
Oh my gosh. Just get my blanket.
No, I'll be quick.
Oh, okay.
And they're your friends too, you fuck.
Oh, that's right.
Jesus. All right. So
you got a lot of shout outs tonight.
I do actually.
Like 2 or 3.
Well, this is a weird moment for me. So I have a chat group with friends from the IDub, and every single one of them posted a fucking photo in our chat group with me and you on a fucking YouTube channel. And the different episodes that they were listening to last week. Yeah, it was fucking
You didn't even share that with me? What an asshole.
I was going to share it today, which I did. So therefore, we are here. I want to add you to the group, but like, can you handle one more chat group?
Dude, I have so many. I feel like I can juggle them.
I mean, we have like 42 just for the Bearded Viking.
Dude, if they will permit me entry, I will enter.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna just randomly invite Bond so that way he gets annoyed. So, shout out to Marty Hopes for 2 reasons, right? So number 1, he is one of the most amazing humans I've ever met. He took good care of me. He took me to the airport, let me park my truck so I could go down to Texas, and I came back and the shit was fucking detailed. He owns a detail shop in Mars, Bozeman. So if y'all are here in Bozeman, Montana, Los Angeles, or Belgrade, go to Marty for your detail needs or your accessory needs. Accessory? Yeah. So there's that. Number 2.
Marty is a great human being.
He's one of the best people you'll ever meet.
He is authentic.
Bob Campbell.
The Bob.
Bob Campbell with Bob Campbell Painting.
Bob.
Go go have him paint your house in Montana. That like just tell him to come over.
Just
just
paint.
He's a fucking stud. Love the
He
shit
needs,
out of him.
He needs to paint.
Will, good old Will, and his shorty shorts and his big old giant American skin viper.
And his glow belt.
Yes, and his glow belt. Love the kid. I love the shit out of you, dude. We all do. And then Brian, who you met, who was one of the Native American folk that is up here, part of the Blackfeet tribe.
Yeah.
He's
I met all of them.
Yeah. He surprised me. I didn't even know he's listening to the fucking podcast.
He's a killer dude.
He's a fucking stud. Like, he was like, I disagree about this. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, on your podcast. I was like, listen, I need context.
I need episode
Context to what the fuck you're saying. Shout out to Brian.
Dude, I love it though. I had no idea he was listening either. That's so cool.
And then and finally, I want to do a huge shout out to our entire tribe, all of you. You know, it's really important to us to realize that we actually impact your lives, which is crazy to us, like, because we are just us. We don't change. And I want you all to know that you're part of a tribe. If you feel alone, look, I'll start a Facebook group if you guys want me to. We can do another fucking group chat. I don't really want to. We can totally do it.
You can add yourself to it.
Yeah, just let us know if you guys want that. If you want to be part of a tribe where we share memes and talk shit, totally okay, right? Like, we'll set boundaries and rules because y'all are different cultures and shit like that, and it'd be like a melting pot, like what America used to be.
And we have an HR department, so you know.
No, I'm not inviting him. He's gonna mitigate everything. I don't need it. Like, he doesn't even listen to the podcast anyways, so it doesn't even matter.
I think he listens to more than you think, dude.
I think he listens to find out how much trouble we're in.
Dude, the face is sneaky, dude. You gotta watch out for the face.
Ninja and shit.
Yeah, he is. He's like the beaner ninja.
How do you say ninja in Spanish?
Ernesto.
Yes. All right. With that being said, let's wrap this bitch up, man. Episode 40 is in the books. Share it with your friends if you made it this far. Shout out to everybody else who is always part of our podcast, Bearded Viking, Boss Graphic Design, those folks over at Rogue Industries, all the folks.
Those peeps.
Martin Antonio, Michael Summers. Cheers, motherfuckers. Love y'all. I am Vico, the Bearded One.
I'm the Earl. Stay weird, Beardos.
Cheers, motherfuckers. Much love. Hold on, let me finish. I'm getting there. It's a long way around.
Yeah, this plane is circled a few times.
It has
They're still waiting for the baggage to get on?
There's a drunk man who's about to puke that people are deciding whether or not he needs to be on the plane currently.
Huh.
We're still there. But how's my spatial recognition here?
Yeah, your space is good now. Your space is good.
We good? I gotta fucking move this shit too. It's like you're in my way.
It's too much.
Now I can fucking read. It feels like it's midnight with these glasses on.
Yeah, it's so dark.
Yeah. Alright. So, let's get this kicked off real quick. I think we're recording? We're good. Alright, cool.
Everything is in its place?
I
gotta get some minimization. Here goes. No, I got hooch. I have all the beverages right now.
I'm so glad that fucking dry January's over.
It was mostly dry January. Let's just say that.
Yeah, but whatever. I'm glad
I gotta get my Googles up.
You Googleizer.
I'm a duck.
Oh, I need to bring mine into the right location now. I don't give a shit about the other shit. Yeah, here we go.
It's extra good lighting for my face.
Oh,
my white backgrounds.
Mm-hmm. All right. So
What's
we're gonna
up?
do. Let's go.